Hi everyone, good evening. We're here tonight from the Londonderry View, episode 54, I might mention, to just let you know that we're out here, we're thinking of you all, we're looking forward to 2021 when we can have more great episodes and guest speakers and off-sites at our great businesses in town and around New Hampshire. But for now, Cathy and I are just here to say hello and
touch base with everybody.
Touch bases. Our Bonnie, we miss Bonnie horribly. She's staying safe at her home, and one of these times we're hoping we might be able to Skype her in or Zoom her in. Kirby, you know, too, trying to stay safe. But Cathy and I just wanted to say hello.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Yeah, just let's catch everybody up on a few things that might be happening around town. It's getting close to Christmas, and Mr. Ho 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 himself will be coming. So,
Cathy, yes.
You want to tell the people a little bit about that?
Good point that we should mention that. Yes, the word in town is that Santa Claus and Mrs. Claus were seen last Sunday around town. Our fire department, I guess, was very involved, and they rode a fire truck. Actually, they had 2 fire trucks. They went all throughout the town to different neighborhoods. The streets were lined with children and their families just waiting to just simply wave to Mrs. Claus and to Santa Claus. And it really seemed to give a sense of that Christmas spirit, and that we're all going to be okay together, and that we're here for each other. So, and I believe too they're going to be attending a class. The world has changed so much. A Zoom class of 4th graders. They're going to hopefully come down from the North Pole and do a little guest speaker presentation this week. So so they've been cited in a few different places around the town.
It brings a little bit of normal
Christmas cheer.
Yeah, Christmas cheer, a little bit of normalcy, I guess, for the kids, because it's so hard for them. You know, we're in school, we're out of school, we're back to school, we're back out of school.
My gosh, Kath, can you imagine, right, when we had our children are grown and older, but for these young moms and dads that are out there, we salute you, because
it's got to be tough.
It's a labor of love parenting, and it's, it's such the toughest job you'll ever love, and takes your whole heart up. But then tossing in a pandemic and trying to homeschool your children while you're working.
And it's tough.
You're our heroes, because we didn't have to do that,
Thank God.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to handle it.
No,
What, you just failed 3rd grade? Oh well.
And I bet there's some of that where you just thinking it in your head, like, oh my gosh, how are we going to get through this? But
I know
make sure young moms and dads out there, and everyone of all ages, reach out if you need help. Look to your town hall, look to all the different groups around, your neighbors. Check on each other, make sure if the burden's getting a little too heavy. I think some of us...
they're not alone in this. No. All the other parents are facing the same thing. And I feel bad too for the kids. It's tough on the kids.
Oh, my goodness.
It's especially tough, I think, on children that have special needs, that were knew that they got on the bus and they went to a structured environment.
Right.
And now they don't have that. So it's tough on those kids too. It's the ones that might be. I have a relative that's on the autism spectrum.
Right.
Brilliant kid, brilliant, sociable, except his problem is dealing with kids his own age. He doesn't socialize with them because his vocabulary, he uses words that I have to look up in a dictionary.
My gosh.
So kids his age don't relate to that. So being in school, he's forced to interact with those kids.
And to learn and grow.
But he's like, my sister-in-law said, how do you feel being the parent of the child that does not get invited to any parties?
Heartbreaking, very, very hard.
So it's hard for those kids especially that don't have a group of friends.
Right. Very good point.
They just rely on their parents and siblings for the friendship and the interaction.
And going to school so that they can learn.
So now, they're not in school. It's a shame.
Tough. And a shout out to our teachers too, because being a teacher years ago, I don't know, I can't imagine how you're doing it, and thank you. Another salute to all of our teachers out there.
I have a question though. I don't understand now. I don't live in Londonderry, but I heard that the kids are working remotely.
Yeah, my understanding is they have a choice, and I know the schools right now are trying to figure out how to move forward because of the pandemic and our numbers increasing so much in town. And the original plan was they would have a choice. You could be all remote learning from home. You could do half and half. You could attend. And I believe it varies with the elementary schools too. But again, with the numbers climbing, that's, and the teachers are in there trying to teach from their classrooms for the most part. But I know that's not,
But
for
I have to
every.
wonder if, like, the superintendent has any meetings with the other superintendents of, like, Salem,
I know.
Timberlane, because Timberlane is going to school. I see the buses every morning. Salem is in session, and they're a huge school, you
Right,
know.
good
So
point, yeah.
if they're doing it, why can't we be doing it up here? I don't understand that, you know.
It's a good question, because
But-
that networking that comes from meeting with other people in your
Yeah,
profession
you know,
can
maybe
really.
they could say, well, this is how we're doing something. So
Right.
now you go back and say, okay, maybe we could try that here in Londonderry, you know. So
Absolutely, yeah.
a
lot of tough decisions
it
to be
is,
made.
it is. And I feel for the parents.
Yeah,
I really, you
yeah.
know, for the kids, the
Yeah.
parents, it's especially when they're trying to keep their jobs
Right.
and some of it, I mean, when you see these commercials on TV, some of them, you know, the parents are trying to work and the kids are in the background and the mother's having a Zoom conference with her cup of coffee and the kid keeps going around her like this and she keeps moving her cup to try to block him. So people at
That's
work don't
the world
see. But I
now.
mean, that's what's happening
It really
everywhere,
is.
you
Yeah,
know?
it is. And trying to get used to seeing yourself on those Zoom calls. I mean, what a different world that is too.
When we've done
you know,
them.
you're too close.
I know.
It's like,
I don't know about
oh
you,
my
but
gosh, my head looks so
when
big.
when we had our staff meetings, and I was
Right.
like, well, like, why does my head look like it's this way? Wait, I got to go more this way to make it even like look straight. And then I'm like moving it, and I'm looking at my background, and I went to different rooms in my house to see
What looks better
what
and the
looked better, what
lighting.
angle
and
should I keep my chin at and not move, you know?
And then if you're looking down at anything, everyone can see you. Where before, at least if you had to check something, you could
Yeah.
kind of do it confidentially. And now it's, all eyes on you. It's and we never even used the word Zoom. Just like a year ago, it seems.
Right.
I didn't know what Zoom, and now it's part of every day that you talk about. Oh, we're gonna have a Zoom meeting. It's it does show you, though, that we persevere and we think outside of the box. We find new ways to do things
Right.
against all odds. And as you said, we're in it together. So no one should feel alone. That we just got to keep moving forward. In the spring,
And I think that's the silver lining is like we've learned, we've had to go from a fast-paced life. We had
Right,
to go
yes.
slower. And I'm finding locally people are a little bit kinder,
yes,
not out in other cities. I won't get into that. But,
yeah.
you know, you could be standing online at the food store and somebody has to cut through and it's like they're like all apologetic or walking
Yeah.
past you and you're like, no problem, go, you know, it's go with the
Yeah.
flow.
Yeah, it does seem
You know,
more like
so
that.
I think that's the silver lining of this mess is that people are becoming more concerned about neighbors, friends,
Yeah.
checking on them, having more patience and learning more tolerance.
Yeah, I think you said that
You know?
beautifully. You're absolutely right. Or even with our masks, like if you're going the wrong way and you just make that wrong turn in the aisle at the grocery store and you're not following the errors, everyone just is like, no, it's okay, it's okay. Like it does. There's
Just
definitely
because
more
there's 5 of us going this way,
Yeah.
you've got to come that way.
No, absolutely.
But
I mean,
there's a way to get around that. You just leave your cart parked at the end of the aisle and you just scoot in and get what you need and get back out. You
Oh.
don't bring your carriage with you.
that is very
I have
smart.
done that.
Because you scoot down and get back.
I
And,
just need that one thing.
it's and again, when we started this show back, on episode 1, we never would have guessed we'd be on episode 54 and that we'd be talking about a pandemic. And who knows what we'll be saying, on episode 100. Like, well, how will we reflect back on this?
Right.
But kind of reflecting back makes me think of, too, this past Saturday, the Londonderry Arts Council did an amazing job of honoring one of our most outstanding citizens, in my humble opinion, Andy Mack Sr. And he's been here with the community since I was a young teacher, always giving back, always finding ways to help, often behind the scenes, like so many people do. And the Arts Council decided they wanted to celebrate all of the signs that he's made for the orchard through the years, like Get Your Peaches Here, some beautiful American flag ones, all hand painted, that he created himself through the last decades. And he was there, and it was a great gathering of people, local people from the area. Richard Flyer was very instrumental, along with the Arts Council, in wanting to, highlight Andy and thank him, for the orchard that is such a part of all of our family memories.
It's like a staple here in Londonderry.
Oh, a staple as well.
You got to know it's Mack's,
Mack's apples, and when I think about, like, if you want to go for a walk in Londonderry, it's his property, that he's just allowed us to for years. If you want to go biking, if you want to go for hikes, if you want to go to the ponds. And Mack's generations, and I think I'm wrong, it's either 7 generations, 7, 8, since the 1700s that his family, first arrived here and just started to harvest the land. So it was a nice celebration. I know Erin's going to put up some pictures in the back here so that you can kind of see. And and if you happen to go by, tell him thank you. But it was just all those positive, bright colored signs that he's made. So kind of nice. So that was a good thing. Save the Earth. That was another
Isn't that one that he had?
That is one. You're right.
I remember seeing that driving up and down Mammoth Road a few times. Yeah.
Absolutely. And the pumpkins and the peaches and I love the one that's in the field still, Mike's Peaches. For Mike Cross, who's been by his side all these years. A lot of great people behind the scenes, but. Yeah, so that was kind of a special event held outside because we had to socially distance. Everyone wore their masks, which is just becoming second nature now.
I know. And now with the cold weather, though, they do feel good.
They do. You know what? That's true. That's we'll have to get some fluffier ones. But it's funny. At first, all of us struggled with them, and now you and I both said you find yourself driving in your car alone, and since I'll pull it up, and it's like I have to remind myself I don't. So I guess it's like learning to tie your shoes. It's such a struggle in the beginning, and then it just becomes part of your routine.
Yeah.
So tell me about the senior center, Cathy. I don't know how you've done it up there with the senior center, but you have.
Yep, we managed to keep it open. We're open 5 days a week, and people had to register for activities because we have to limit the number of people we can have so that we can be socially distanced. Safely socially distanced. When people come in, they have to take their temperature, so we have an automatic reader, so they just have to put their forehead near it, and it will read their temperature. If anybody is 99.9 or higher, an alarm will sound.
It will really.
And I'll get out the door. So thankfully that has not happened.
My goodness.
Yeah.
We have one at the town hall. I didn't realize the alarm would sound, and it's probably similar.
I made sure that when it got installed that there was a safeguard, something, and Tommy showed me, he rubbed his hands together, I guess to cause some heat, and put it in front of it, and the alarm went off.
Oh my gosh. Which is important though. So
we said all we need is a net to drop down from the ceiling.
Oh my gosh. Scoop the my gosh.
Yeah. And so people scan their key tag when they come in, but now the computer is facing the desk, so they can't touch the touch screen anymore. So if I'm behind the desk, or Lois or Barbara, that's who will put in whatever the activity is that they're there for.
My gosh, interesting. Isn't it strange too, because you put all of that in long before COVID hit, like you were in, that was all in play well over a couple of years now, you know, that you brought that in as the new technology, and again, you didn't think you'd be using it in this way, but it's...
no, but
thank goodness.
Because we've got the plexiglass up to protect people behind the desk, and I've got the hand sanitizer automatic, put your hand and it squirts right out.
Oh my gosh,
so
they don't...
so we're doing bingo on Tuesday and Wednesday afternoons. Tuesday and Thursday mornings we have yoga class. And let's see, painting ladies come in on Wednesday morning. And then we still have our once a month murder mystery group.
Oh my gosh.
And book club. They're once a month as well.
It's excellent.
We've got Tai Chi on Fridays. And we've got line dancing. If anybody's interested, that is a class that we do have some openings. Is the line dancing on Monday afternoons.
Oh, yeah.
And that starts at 12:30.
Does it go for an hour?
Yeah.
Okay. all
Yeah.
right. Now, is CART still running at this time?
No.
No.
Well, they might be around town, but not to the senior center.
Okay.
Because what they used to do is drop off at 10, pick up at 2.
Oh, right.
And we can't have anyone lingering around.
That's right.
It's they
Boy.
come in, they check in, they do their activity,
Boy.
and you leave.
And you leave. You know, I know that we'll get back to normal with all this, but you know, we were talking before the show about just I used to love to see everyone sitting around. You always had the fresh coffee brewed and some, you know, it was just such a great social
back in
time.
March, I took all the tables
Yeah.
down, I washed them, put them away, took all the chairs down,
Right.
you know, sprayed those down, put them in the holders. So the only tables we have back out now are the ones that will get used for bingo.
Boy.
And then like today, I went around and I spray disinfected all the tables and chairs after everyone left from
My
playing
goodness.
bingo. And then tomorrow they'll be back in to play bingo again, and then they all get cleaned again before they get put back into the racks.
My gosh.
And then the floor I have to wash the floor because Thursday morning will be yoga, and they're on mats on the floor. So I have to wash the floor
To make
tomorrow
sure.
to make sure, that, you know, trying to keep things clean.
Boy.
And we're down to
Keep
just
everyone
having one
safe.
bathroom open.
One bathroom open
Yeah.
too.
So
Boy.
just been trying to keep, we still have the Meals on Wheels program.
Oh, excellent. Is that twice a week?
5 days a week
5
it's
days a
offered.
week now.
Yeah. So we do have quite a few people that come through, and it's a drive-through situation.
It's still a drive-through. Great.
Yep.
Wow. Boy. Well, thinking of that too, on another shout out to our fire department. You told me about the wonderful Thanksgiving meal
luncheon,
that they provided, and
We did that as the drive-through.
Oh, that just
And
sounded.
that worked out very well. They prepared
Boy.
everything. They packed it all in the boxes and put them in box into a bag. And Lois Susie, one of my volunteers,
Right.
folded all the fancy napkins and put the flatware
Aw.
inside. So that went into
Made it
each
feel
bag.
special.
So they got that, along with it.
Oh, it just and many people that we're talking about said there wasn't just enough for one Thanksgiving meal.
I heard
there were
that.
2 or
Yeah.
3 meals. They really the
It was
abundance
packed,
of
yeah.
love
The boxes
and warmth.
were heavy.
That's but what a wonderful thing and a tradition that you started with the fire department. So
Well, actually,
keeping
they had been doing it before I came.
Oh, interesting.
And then, I
Continued.
just continued, yeah.
And welcomed it, and
Mhm.
yeah, that's
And
a
then this
wonderful-
year, I suggested, why don't I posed the question to John Cares. It's like, how about if you guys do a drive-through since we can't do the sit-down
Boy.
meal? And they jumped all over it, so.
And they were excited, and
Yeah.
and they cooked the turkeys in the back in those fryer-laters, right?
Yeah,
from
they
what-
fry them outside, yeah.
Oh my gosh, just exciting.
And they have hams baking in the oven. And then they make the stuffing and potatoes and green beans and everybody, and even gets a little plop of cranberry sauce in your box,
Oh my gosh, yeah,
and a
pretty.
roll.
Boy,
So,
if there's any
yeah.
pictures, we should put them up too, because that would be a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I'll have
I know
to.
you were all so busy with, but
I'll send some to Erin.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have that, because that was just a great memory.
Yeah.
And again, it's that old quote too. It takes a village. It really does to make these things.
We did have one
Yeah.
funny thing happen. A car pulled in, and the fireman saw 2 elderly people in the car. So he had 2 bags of food, and he went over to them. And what we did is I had the checklist, because you needed to be on a list.
Okay.
You couldn't just show up,
Right.
because we needed to have a head count. And I'm saying to the fireman, I was like, I don't recognize those people. I don't know who they are. So, because they would ask everyone's last name.
Sure.
Well, it turned out they were a couple from Milford that were just driving around and wanted to check out our senior center and see if we offered ballroom dancing.
Oh my gosh.
So they left with 2 meals. So they were out for a drive, and they ended up going home with 2 meals.
How great is that?
Yeah.
I mean, that says it. That's Londonderry, though. That's
And, there's plenty of food, so it wasn't a problem,
right to be able to. Boy, well, just nice. Everyone working together, and and also just giving people a place to go and
Get out of the house,
Yeah,
see
people.
something different.
Oh,
They've always enjoyed having the meals with the firemen and their families serving.
right.
And so at least that gave them a little,
Kept the traditions
Kept it going,
Yeah,
yeah,
which is
yeah.
really, really nice. And just so many happy people and grateful, for what you provided. And now we're looking to Christmas, and Hanukkah just has kind of just passed us, and and again, just that idea of check on your neighbors. So many people, especially with these dark days. I mean, 420, I think now it's getting a little better day by day.
I think
but
it's dark out there now already.
It's just so dark. So it's hard on everyone's emotions. Just check on each other, make sure that your neighbor's okay.
Right.
A quick, instead of texting, maybe pick up the phone so they hear a voice. Knock on the door if you can, leave something. But very important that we're, talking to each other and letting each other know that we're out there.
We have some people that are still. Bonnie makes some phone calls to people to check in with them.
Oh, nice.
Because, like as you said, they can't come to the senior center to
Right.
socialize. There's no coffee. You can't just sit around a table and talk anymore.
Right.
So now that we are open, we've scaled back on the phone calls.
Boy.
Because there's quite a few of the people that are coming in, or they've signed up for the meals drive-through.
Right.
So you are seeing them and conversing for a couple of minutes. How are you today? What's
A
going
little
on?
bit,
And
right,
tell
yeah.
you a little
Yeah.
bit before they go on their way.
Which is,
But-
I often look at the town hall like that now with those of us who've been in there, since the beginning of this. And, I think of like the senior center and the town hall, it's the heart of the community. Like, and I was really like just thinking and pondering this the other day, that because it's the same thing, people come in to register cars, the election that we just went through that was unprecedented, but it's a place that you're going to be greeted with warmth, and that we're happy to see, like you're so happy to see everyone come through the senior center, at the town hall, from Kevin, right down every office. And that building is welcoming, and they're there, they care about the residents, and they'll make a little more time for that. Hey, how are you doing? And just to have that social
It's
contact.
not just businessy.
Yeah,
it's a family.
it's a real family together.
I actually today received a baby quilt that one of our members, her sister-in-law who lives in Tennessee,
Boy.
she told her that I was going to have my first grandchild is due in January. And she made a baby quilt and mailed it from Tennessee. It's pink fabric.
Oh my goodness.
Mailed it from
Kath.
Tennessee to New Hampshire. And our member called me and gave it to me today. So now I'll pack it up and mail it out to California.
Oh, isn't that beautiful?
So
though,
I was like, here's a woman, don't even know her in Tennessee. And she made this blanket, so I thought that was so
for
sweet.
your first grandbaby.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, boy. And those things, they had a lot of meaning before, but now it's just, boy, it just touches your heart. And even just sending cards. Like I think in the last 10 years, I kind of got away from cards.
Yeah.
And I have a dear friend in upstate New York who always never misses a beat on a card, just to tell you she's thinking about you, it's your birthday. And I love getting them, but I was never, just wasn't good about sending them. And now it's like I'm picking up more cards, and just a quick, hey, we're thinking of you, just to get to, so that people get something in the mail, a quick little, and it's good for me to have that little something to do too, write a little note and reach out.
You actually have the time, huh?
Yeah, I tell you.
That's surprising.
Yeah, I know it. Well, now that the elections are passed, we're kind of like,
Yeah.
wow, on the weekends you're not, focused
Crazy,
on.
yeah.
And but yeah, so all those little things, and puzzles and things that you can do at home, and just
That's-
trying to stay as active as you can with all of it.
Well, that's what I've been doing for the seniors. I'm sorry, I didn't mean
Yeah,
to
no,
interrupt you.
the puzzles.
Well, I send out like word scrambles, crossword puzzles. So the next newsletter will be getting mailed out this week, and it's got all Christmas puzzles in it.
Oh,
Over
okay,
Thanksgiving
yeah.
time, they got one with a bunch of Thanksgiving themed puzzles.
Yeah.
And I've received a couple thank you cards in the mail, thanking me for everything that I do. But beyond that, it's we so enjoy getting those puzzles in the mail.
Something to.
Because it gives them, it keeps your mind
does,
going.
It really, and there have been studies that show that it really helps keep you sharp.
So to try to keep them engaged and feel like you're still part of the group, we do a
we're all
couple
linked
newsletters
somehow.
a month go out just to.
It makes a difference, and just getting something in the mail.
Yeah.
Just getting a little bit of mail, which we're starting to get away from before, but now it's like, wow, that's a social thing to go back down to your mailbox and check things out. Funny, I received a puzzle from Bill Stiles, a wonderful gentleman in town, and every election, because those elections go on 24 hours plus, and Bill, a custodian, just retired over at our high school, and he'd look at me about 18 hours in, and he'd like, can I get you anything? I'd be, oh, I just wish I had a Diet Coke. And from the first election that I was ever part of, Bill found a Diet Coke for me, and then, you know, every election this year, 3 major ones, there's my Diet Coke, you know,
that's
and I
nice.
wonder if he'll, but, so he came in with a puzzle, because I like to do puzzles too on the weekends, you know, and, but it's a round puzzle, so this is going to be a challenge, so thank goodness it's only a little over 500 pieces, but round, and, but, you know, but and it's just that warmth if someone was thinking of us, or,
Right,
you know,
right.
and just something you can do and talk about, and, but yeah, a lot of good things out there, and people doing a little more for each other, which is really
Yeah.
nice too. You know, kind of before I forget too, though, I did want to do just a little mention that we've been taking it a little easier on our dog registrations in town, because people were afraid to come in. We didn't want to put the fines in place because, you know, everyone's burdened in one way or another financially with
Right,
this
yeah.
COVID world that we're in. But now we really need to get our dogs registered. So if you haven't registered them yet, please call us, see us. You can do it through the mail. We have a drop box on the back and the front of the building, but we need to make sure that all dogs are registered for everyone's safety.
When was the original due date?
The original due date would have been last June.
Okay.
And, you know, we're slowly going through the list. People have been great. Our police department's helped us through our animal control officer, which has made a big difference. But we've got to get every dog registered, because now, remember, in April, it's going to be time to register them for 21 coming up. So I've got to get those dogs registered. It's just $7.50. I've waived all of the fines up until this point, the $1 a month and the other things. But now we just need to make sure that it's done, because the fines will start to occur if you don't come in. And please, too, if you could let us know if your dog has passed. I'm very sad if that's happened. If you've moved, if you get a card from us, but just, you know, send a little email, make a quick call, and let us know the status, so that way
Right.
we don't keep
Bothering
hounding you.
people.
We
Yeah,
don't keep
yeah.
hounding you, I guess, too. But yeah, so, you know, but that's, you know, a big thing in the town clerk's office world now, too. Let's get those dog registered, car registrations, all those other things. So, yeah.
So something else I just thought of too, and I will get you the phone number of this gentleman.
Oh,
but
yes, that we don't
I had
forget.
a gentleman call me, and he does snow plowing and snow shoveling. He will shovel walkways. He will shovel decks. So if you are interested, if you call me at the senior center, I will give you his phone number. And then you can contact him for information as to what he charges for everything and what his time schedule is. The phone number at the senior center is 432-8554. Maybe we could have Erin put that up on the screen as
good
well.
idea.
But, and I will get you his information, so if anyone comes in to town hall and asking questions,
Excellent. We do get a
you'll
lot.
have his name as to give out.
Oh, Kath,
I
that's
don't know who
excellent.
he is, you know, never met him. He called me the other day and wanted to know, can I put a business card at the senior center? And I said, well, we really don't have the bulletin board up right now because people are not staying in there,
Right.
you know. And but I did tell him I would mention it on our TV show,
Good.
and I would put his information in the newsletter as well.
Excellent. That's nice that he
So,
came forward.
Yeah, really, because people had trouble finding anybody they could find people that would plow,
It's hard.
but nobody would shovel a sidewalk. And this guy will shovel
He'll
a
do
sidewalk.
that, huh? He
So
will.
to me, that's a big deal.
That's huge.
To have that, you know,
Wow.
available. So yes, I will.
Nice to know someone's out there.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not he's
Not
not
a free-
volunteering.
Right.
Okay, this is his business. So yeah.
But nice to know he's out there.
Yeah,
And
that
he'd
there
be
is somebody that will
dependable.
shovel, you know.
No, that's not. Boy, is there anything else that we haven't covered?
I
Huh.
don't think so.
Wow.
I don't know. What do you want for Christmas?
What do I want for Christmas? Oh, that's a tough one. I think I just want it. I want everyone. I mean, this is probably not just, but I just pray everyone in our community and our great state is healthy and not forgotten. That everyone is just, you know, somebody thinks of everyone, you know, and maybe a couple people think of someone that might be alone. I'm not sure what I want for myself. How about you? And then maybe I'll come out. I know I can easily come out.
There's nothing that I can say I really want. It's
Yeah.
more the same as you, that I would like, you know, I want my family to be healthy.
Yeah.
And, want life to start going a little bit more smoothly rather than this bumpy road that we're on.
Right.
There's nothing material that I can say I really want.
Isn't it funny?
There's really...
Yeah, even with our kids, it's definitely not a year with the older ones, the young adults. It's like they're kind of saying the same thing, that it's not a year for the things. It's the year for just kind of making sure we're all okay, taking care of each other, and looking to 21. Which will probably be our next show on The View.
Yeah, we're going to kick 2020 to the curb.
We're going to kick it to the curb, or some people have been saying bah humbug, or, and all those ornaments that are out there, like about saying goodbye to, 2020 and ringing in 21. So, so I think we're just all looking forward to that, and not forgetting to kind of keep that slowing down a little and thinking of each other a little more.
I wonder if we will still stay slowed down.
I know.
Once things get back up and running, and if the vaccine gets out there and we get rid of this pandemic episode.
I know, you do wonder what's going to happen.
Will we still be a slower paced, or are we going to go back to being like?
I know, jump right back into the crazies.
Yeah.
And you do start to realize that some of the things we thought were so big and important really weren't at all. It's really the little things, and something else we should mention with Christmas, if you're thinking about shopping and all, I know so much is online, but I know our hearts break for the small businesses and the restaurants.
Yeah.
My gosh, if we could help and support them every day. But if you're nervous about going in, takeout is extremely safe. I've heard of no outbreaks related to takeout food.
Yeah.
Even in the restaurants, there might be a worker you'll hear about a restaurant, but it's not the person that's consumed the food. So do your takeout. It's fun. It really supports those local businesses. Do what you can. If you're looking for games and puzzles, look in our own community. We have a lot of resources for that. But shop and think our small local businesses.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because that's tough.
And I was thinking, we were just reading that the Christmas tree farms, the local ones, are doing a bang-up business this year. And it's like my husband went and cut down a tree on Sunday by himself. He didn't know he was on his way to do that. I was saying, you should really get a tree before the bad weather comes. We should get one. And then he's like, well, I'm going to take the dog for a ride, and didn't realize he was going to end up at the local tree farm.
Isn't that funny?
And next thing I know, he's coming up the back pathway, and he's got this big fat tree. And he's like, I said, where'd you get the tree? He goes, I went and cut it down.
Oh, is that?
So he said, but he was talking with the owners, and they're right there in Atkinson, and they said, we're doing a fantastic business, and lucky he went, but Sunday was their last day that they were going to be open for people to come cut down trees. So
that's it's funny you'd mention that, Cathy, because Brian, one of our supervisors, our supervisors do an amazing job of our checklist for elections, and he was saying that all of the different tree places now are actually sold out. The Lions Hall, they're out there every year. They're sold out. I mean, which is a wonderful thing to see.
It is.
Thank goodness it's
and
positive.
I think part of that too is people just want to have something pretty and joyful.
Right.
And you don't want to hear anything more about the pandemic or politics, or get away from all that.
I think you're right.
We all just I want to live in the Hallmark Channel.
You and John. And with that, we will end our show. But on a serious note, thank you for being with us, and thank you for watching, because this show really is helping our hearts a lot tonight.
Yes.
And we thank you for that. And to Bonnie and Kirby, we're thinking of you. And we're looking forward to seeing you in 2021. Cathy, got anything else there that we've missed?
No, just Merry Christmas,
Merry
Happy
Christmas.
Hanukkah, Happy
Kwanzaa.
New Year, Happy Kwanzaa. I don't know what else there is.
Yes, absolutely. And I guess with that, we will say good night.